I'm here with Krystle Wittevrongel of the Montreal Economic Institute on the floor of the Global Energy Show here in Calgary, Alberta. Krystle, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So you're here as a part of the Energy Influencers part, where you're going to be making a pitch to different people in the industry to support work that you're doing. But you work at the Montreal Economic Institute. I was poking fun at you earlier that the Montreal Economic Institute actually now seems to be more of the Calgary Economic Institute lately. A lot of the leadership actually lives out here, including some very French guys from Montreal. But there's a few of you here now. You guys are increasingly involved in energy policy for Western Canada. What is the pitch you're going to be making today?
So we actually have offices in Calgary, Montreal, and Ottawa. And so we try to hit on all of those jurisdictions, federally, Quebec, and Alberta. Mm-hmm. And so today I'm just going to run people through. Basically, in the last 6 months, we've worked on a number of files. One is pipelines from east to west, as well as some reforms to the federal government's Impact Assessment Act. And in those two files, we had over 50 interviews and over 2,300 media mentions. So during a very dynamic time in Canadian politics, we're really shaping public opinion. We're starting to disseminate some of our broader work related to the Impact Assessment Act as well. So moving forward, we're just going to be encouraging and advocating for smarter policy and energy for Canada.
I think about a third of those media mentions were from us. We pick up a lot of the work you guys do. It's good stuff. You have kind of a unique voice in the policy space in Canada, in that you're dealing with sometimes what's regional issues, but kind of the greater whole of a Canadian economy, if that's a thing. And we're now using the term one Canadian economy. You guys are kind of really ahead of the parade on that one. Is it any of the work you guys have been doing, are you seeing that manifested in some of the new legislation under the kind of revamped Liberal government?
Well, what we're trying to really push is that Quebec and Alberta, there's quite a few similarities. Like, our provinces are very different, mentality-wise, policy-wise, but there is a lot of similarity, especially in how the relationship with the federal government has continued to evolve. So we're really trying to kind of infuse that dialogue in the work we do as well. And so we're hoping to be able to advocate for smarter energy policy federally in ways that make sense and are very targeted. Like in our research paper for the IAA, it was very practical reforms that are very easily implemented within the current legislative scheme. So if the federal government's talking about wanting to make these moves, we've made it very easy for them to take our advice in that regard.
Well, what are the big asks you're making right now?
Asks like to the federal government?
Yeah. What are the bullet point of what are the three big things they can do?
They can cut down on the approval process for major infrastructure projects, and they can do that by really peeling back some of the layers that were added on with the Impact Assessment Act that took it from an environmental assessment into a hodgepodge of assessment.
We have to understand the gender of the pipeline.
Yes, exactly. Some of the things that are well-meaning, perhaps, but don't have place in an environmental assessment. And then also looking at ways to reduce the duplication. So there's substitution agreement with British Columbia where their assessments can be recognized by the federal government. So there should be more of those with other provinces. We don't need to be duplicating the assessments.
Do you think that's a double-edged sword, though? I've thought of that. That's one of the common recommendations out there. But, the provinces could stack it one way or another. They could stack it in favor of development. They could stack it against development. So do you think that's a double-edged sword?
I think that if the federal government focuses on having the provincial government only kind of assess the areas of federal jurisdiction, which is what they should be doing, then it should be streamlined and easily kind of move forward, because already the provincial stuff is within the provincial heads of power anyways. So it wouldn't change much from our perspective in terms of how that should look.
Okay. Now, what do you hope to achieve here? Like at the Global Energy Show, it's a big deal. People can't see when we just got the Western Center background right here. But this is a gargantuan show that's just, I think it's got to be, after Stampede, I think it's probably the biggest event in Calgary. What is it you're hoping to achieve here today?
Make some good connections, have some good conversations like we're having now, but ultimately increase the kind of profile of MEI and, perhaps get some more support for the work we do.
I think you guys got to change your name. You're no longer Montreal Economic Institute. You're just Canadian Economic Institute.
That's why we're MEI now. We just go by the acronym MEI.
That's like KFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Or BMO.
There you go. That's a very apt one. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to add?
No, just happy to be here, and thanks for having this chat with me.
Well, thank you very much.